Hello, everybody, and welcome back to episode 2 of the Project Re3 origin story. 22 months. That's how long I had to wait. My wife had to wait. The people closest to me had to wait. 22 months from the time God woke me up in the middle of the night in January 2012 to share with me this revelation of Isaiah 58. 22 months from that moment until something tangible and physical actually happened. As Tom Petty once said, the waiting is the hardest part. There was plenty of times in those 22 months I tried to jump ahead of God, that I felt like he was moving too slow. I wanted to take the reins myself and hurry up and get to where I wanted to be. And God always had to pull me back, readjust my vision, my perspective, and go back to waiting on him. Now, some things happened over those 22 months that I guess made me want to jump ahead. The church I was serving at the time, my great friend, my mentor, my senior pastor, Mike Willard, announced that he was going to be retiring. And he actually came to me several months before he told the congregation. And he came to me and just said, hey, look, I'm going to be retiring within the next year. I want you to pray about what that may look like for you. Is being senior pastor here something that you would want? Something that God wants for you? Well, immediately I just said, absolutely. Right? I mean, God had just given me this vision of Isaiah 58. And now it appeared that he was giving me the church to kind of work this out in. But for the next several months, every time I thought about it, every time the thought crossed my mind of what I would do if I was senior pastor there, I just had an uneasy feeling. It didn't feel right. So I went to Mike early that spring and just told him, look, I don't think I'm the man for the job. I don't think this is where God wants me. And Mike said, all right, I understand. I respect that. Well, later on that summer, Mike announced to the congregation that he would be retiring in a few months. After 20 years at that church and 40 years in ministry, he was going to be stepping away. I was not prepared for the avalanche of people that kind of called or emailed or texted or stopped by my office and wanted to talk to me about, well, I guess you're going to be the next guy in charge, or I guess you're the one that's going to be our new pastor, or you're the one that's at least going to throw your name in the hat to be considered to be the pastor here. In fact, Mike even came to me and said, look, there's a lot of people that would love to have you. Why don't you reconsider? So out of respect for Mike, I did. I started to reconsider. Maybe this is where God wanted me. Maybe the feelings I was having, this unrest, this lack of peace, maybe it was coming from the enemy and not from God. But it became very evident that I was not a right fit for that church. And that church was not a right fit for me. It was a great church. It had a lot of good people. But it's not where God wanted me. And after a few weeks of prayer and discussion, I really feel like God told me, not only are you not supposed to be the senior pastor here, you're not even supposed to be here anymore. So on the heels of our pastor retiring, I had to go to the deacons and let them know that I would be resigning also. Wasn't angry or bitter. I just felt like it was time to move on. Waiting is hard. And I bet right now in your life, every single one of you listening is having to wait for something. Maybe you're waiting for this virus to pass. Maybe you're waiting for schools to start back so your kids can get back to school. Maybe you've been at home. Maybe you're a restaurant owner. Maybe you work for a business and you're on furlough right now because your company can't afford to pay you. And you're waiting to go back to work. You're waiting for life to get back to normal. Maybe for you, just like I had in January of 2012, God's given you a dream. He's given you something that you're passionately on fire for. And you've been waiting. And your question to God is, how much longer do I have to wait? Maybe you're waiting for something, a promise that you feel in your life that that Mr. or Mrs. Right, that loved one, the person that you want to spend the rest of your life with. Maybe you're waiting for that first child. And no matter what, you and your spouse just can't seem to get pregnant. We've all been there. We've all had to wait. I had to wait 22 months for that dream that God gave me in January of 2012 to begin to take form in November of 2013. My prayer for you is the same thing that I was drawn to during that time of waiting. Psalm 27:14 says, "Wait for the Lord. Be strong and take heart and wait for the Lord." No matter what you're waiting for, do not give up. If God has laid something on your heart, He has laid it there for a reason. Maybe the climate's not right for this dream to become a reality. Maybe there's something in you, just like I know there was something in me that God had to continue to refine and work out until I was ready. Looking back on it now, if God had given me what I wanted the day after I had this dream, it would have fallen hard. It took 20 to 22 months for Him to work out enough rough edges in my life for this thing to even take hold. So waiting is hard, but you're not alone. People all around you are waiting today. Even in the scriptures, people were waiting. So take heart. Wait for the Lord. Be strong and wait for Him.